a little bit of your time. And today I'm going to be talking about ThreadStack Digital Power Bundle Secrets. Woohoo! And thank you guys for jumping in into this workshop. And yeah, guys, so check this out. This is what's been working for me on Threads, and of course, everything that I'm describing over here gets published into Threads Stack Digital Power Bundle. So this way you get the latest battle-tested strategies that you could execute on Threads to produce very good results. And this is what's been working for me. Essentially, here's what I discovered about Threads. Like, this is something that I wasn't really doing too much of. Before, I would be just kind of when I talk to somebody, I would just automatically hit like, or it was just kind of programmed into me to just hit like no matter what. Now what I do it selectively. I don't hit like on every comment. I hit like only on the comment that I like. Now, it may seem obvious, but many of us are instilled in this construct that we need to be nice and always hit like through any kind of interaction. But the reality is the algorithm doesn't really work that way. When it sees those likes, it will be like, I bet I'm gonna go ahead and feed you the same style of content. So effectively, what I realized is that once I started being more cautious about and just hitting like more on the comments that I really like, more on the threads that I really like, that's when I started kind of seeing progress. Another thing that worked for me on Threads was letting other people win. So this is a very, what I'm about to describe is a transitive property of mathematics and how to use it in combination with Threads, and how to do it especially if you have somebody who, like another Freedom founder, who you're exchanging threads with, and let's say they posted a thread saying, hey, I need some money and here's a QR code. And then it sounds controversial, right? When you just include when you include a barcode, a QR code, and says, send me some money, I need to survive while I'm in college. This is one of those threads that was just created by one of our Freedom founders, Jackson, aka Skooky Sniper. So he created that, and I saw that. It was just like, I'm like, man, I can't do that. I can't just go ahead and include a QR code with a simple thread like this and say something like, hey, I need to, can people send me some money? I just can't do that. It takes a lot of courage to do that. So so the Skooky Sniper, the Freedom founder Jackson, and of course, guys, I already told you about Jackson. What he did, he posted this controversial thread. And guys, look, this may seem like, if you were to do that yourself, you may feel sleazy. You may feel like, oh my God, I would never do that. But my Freedom founder Jackson, the Skooky Sniper, went ahead and did it anyway. Now, I didn't exactly tell him to do this. He just went ahead and did it. And the reactions that I got, so when I saw that thread, and his thread was simple. It was like this. Here's my barcode. He didn't even say, here's my barcode. He just included a picture of a barcode. And hello, guys. Hello. Thank you for jumping in. He included a picture of a barcode straight to his wallet. So and literally with a small little sentence saying, guys, I need to survive while I'm in college. Please send money this way. Just like that. Just direct QR code. Like I could never do something like this without clarifying anything. I just can't do that. But he went ahead and did it. And I want to tell you what happened. And we're talking about threads, obviously, right? So what happened is, I saw that, and the way Freedom founders work, they operate in cohorts where we collectively promote some feudal lords collectively together, because obviously that gives us a viral power to get those feudal lords seen. Whatever the feudal lords building, whatever kind of feudal kingdoms that they're building. So if a feudal lord happens to be a luxury pet mom over 40 and wants to sell more products, then of course we, in gamified cohorts with other freedom founders, get squabble up together and promote that luxury feudal lord. And when we do so in gamified cohorts. Now, here's where it gets funny. Once in a while, we're coordinated. Like when we operate in those cohorts, we're coordinated like a cartel. Because we know if you just operate on your own on threads, your threads are they're just never gonna get seen. It's gonna be like shouting into the void. That's basically what it comes down to when you're just on your own doing anything when it comes to like anything at all in terms of building any businesses or doing marketing or anything else for that matter. But what Jackson went ahead and did, he did something very interesting. He just straight up, with no explanation, included a QR code saying, I need to survive while I'm in college in Florida. Please send me money. Here's my QR code. And that's it. That's the thread he posted. Now, me knowing Jackson and like me knowing like how he operates and everything as a freedom founder, I understand that Jackson is very gifted, meaning he's like super smart. When I met him, he was playing a lot of video games on YouTube channel. So we got together. I figured out a way for how to get Jackson to spend less time on YouTube and change his life completely. He followed my path. He went to Florida. Now he's in Florida State University. But the bottom line is he made that post. And what I did is I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and repost that thread. I'm going to repost it and I'm going to say, hey guys, feel free to send the money this way. Without any explanations, guys. Without any explanations other than original thread of Jackson, the Skooky Sniper, who literally said, hey, send money my way. Here's my QR code while I'm struggling in college in Florida. And guys, this thread ended up like, and out of a sudden, I wake up and I'm looking at my Threads account and I'm like, man, there's somebody messaging on Threads and they're like, how can you do that? You're like, why are you begging for money? Or like all those, like, and it just was one comment from one person. And I'm like, I bet, like, let me try to engage with that person. Not Jackson, but me on a Jackson's thread. My own thread where I reposted Jackson thread, and I figured let me go ahead and engage and use my reverse psychology technique to convert the person from an attacker into an ally. This is advanced technique, extremely. It's like studying Tai Chi in the martial arts, but in a social media. So what I did is I managed to carry over that person into my site, but it was funny. We started engaging into conversation on threads, and this person was like, oh, how can you be begging for money from people? And I went ahead and I responded on behalf of Jackson, and I would say, have you seen Jackson's YouTube channel? How can you say that about a person without even like seeing the person? I started literally including some of the comments, and this is where the tea is. This is the tea that I'm describing here, guys. You technically don't really have to understand it because it's already being operationalized inside of those Freedom Fusion automations, where you could just, with one push of a button or a call from CloudBot, have it executed on your phone, and it will just tell you it will just guide you in executing this very same tea that I'm describing to you right now. But the bottom line is, guys, like, the tea is so simple. I went ahead and I responded to a comment. That comment was all about, like, the person who started engaging. He was like, oh, how can you do this? This is like begging for money. And I went ahead and I stepped in for Jackson, and I explained I explained all the details. And the guy was like, he was just trying to fight on threads. He was trying to fight with me on threads. So what I did is I used a reverse psychology trick to basically just get this person on our side, on my talent agency side. And this was the most beautiful thing that you could do, guys. That means my strategy is working. You could totally reuse the same strategy. So when you're getting attacked on threads, you could totally reuse the same strategy. So if you get any kind of comments on threads, that is already a win, guys. This is a huge win, even if it's from people who are like attacking you. If there's somebody who is attacking not directly you, but let's say you posted Jackson thread, and Jackson was asking for money, and they're attacking, and you're defending, right? So when you're defending, you got to understand that you playing like that mediation role that places you in a better position to negotiate with any of those people who are kind of attacking your thread. So what I ended up doing, I ended up like luring that person into my talent agency by basically by basically letting the person win. So the person would be like, oh, you begging for money, and I'm on behalf of Jackson. I was like, have you seen Jackson's YouTube account? Have you seen his account? And he was like, no, he should get a job, like and I'm like, well, and then we go into this exchange of conversation. Now what I did something very strategic, guys. This conversation, what I did is I managed to repost that thread in another thread where I'm actually trying to get the customers, so this way people can see my genuine side of things. And so this way they could see how I'm literally defending another person. And so this way they could see that other side of me in the main thread where I'm trying to get the feudal lord. So imagine this. On threads, you go on threads, right? And you get a feudal lord who says, oh, I need some AI bots systems, and I need some stuff done for me for my brand. And I respond and be like, I bet, look, here's what we can do. And this is where thread stacking begins. This is where I thread stack my way into freedom by including all sorts of previous media that was already pre-created. And that's where the T comes in, because once you create a powerful thread that explains everything, it becomes so much easier, because out of a sudden you could throw that thread in a gamified cohort of freedom founders, and they will propel it using this channel. And so that is what I did. Basically, I started propelling the thread. So like, how do you execute the strategy? This strategy is already operationalized into one of our Freedom Fusion automations. This one got to be borderline illegal, guys. This is insane strategy. I managed to tap into Tai Chi. You guys heard of Tai Chi? I don't know, maybe you guys, when you were little, maybe you were Chinese, I don't know, maybe maybe you're Thai person. I'm sure you guys heard of Tai Chi, where you could redirect energy of another person when you're fighting with them. If they're strong, you could redirect their strength into like a different direction, so against them, right? So basically that's what I was able to pull off on threads by redirecting the energy of an attacker who was attacking one of my freedom founders, Jackson. Because Jackson, you know what he did, guys? Jackson created a thread. Like, literally, I didn't even tell Jackson to do that, but he created a thread with his QR code to his Venmo wallet. It was just one small little thread. I'm struggling in college, please send me money here. without any explanations. He posted the thread, and me being also, like a combination of both a freedom founder and a feudal lord, I kind of had to switch my mindset into being that freedom founder to see, what I could do with this thread. So I ended up reposting it. The next morning, I get some of those attackers kind of reaching out, people like with jealousy, saying like, yo, how can you be asking for money like that? And I'm like, and I'm defending for the freedom founder. I'm responding to on behalf of Jackson in the thread, and saying like and saying, have you seen Jackson's YouTube videos? How can you say that about the person? Anyway, the bottom line is I go into back and forth kind of altercation, but the part about the T that is so powerful is the fact that I was able to take that person who was attacking me and redirect that energy, just like in Tai Chi, against that person who was attacking me, and still get this person to become part of our talent agency. This is the most craziest thing that I was able to pull off. And the gist of the story is, guys, like, here's the formula for how to execute this and make that for your brand. So if you want to get people on your side, because this is the hard part, this is the hardest part. If you have a brand and you want to get people on your side, step number 1, get into altercation. Step number 2, but get onto the altercation on behalf of reposting somebody's thread. Step number 2, make sure let that person win, whoever is getting into that altercation. Step number 3, after you let the person win, invite them into your school community that you're part of, like in this community. And step number 4, go ahead and blast that thread in a gamified cohort. So this way, other Freedom Founders double down on it and distribute it across threads. Guys, those steps, if you do those steps, you're going to be able to create those controversial comments, and who knows, maybe somebody will actually donate if you do, if you execute that strategy with the QR code. And this is absolutely insane strategy, guys. It's not, like, it's absolutely bonkers. Now, here's the thing. You may be able to get close enough to transforming the mind of another person who you were going through altercation. You may leave it on a good note. You may leave it on a good side, where you let the person win, but simultaneously that person who's fighting with you, like, if you see the argument that we were fighting off, I made a purposeful mistake where I would respond back and I say, hey, thank you for sharing stuff, and I would share the icon with a screenshot. So I made it super genuine, looking like it's not a bot that's communicating with person. I made it super genuine conversation, and if you guys want to see this conversation, jump into my threads. But the part that was so powerful, guys, about this thread is the fact that I took that very same thread where I got into altercation with another person and let that person win. I took that same thread, I included that as part of another thread where I'm trying to win the feudal lord. So in other words, there's another thread in parallel where I'm showing where the feudal lord says, I need some AI automation things done for me. And I go in and I start describing all the automations, and boom, I include that Jackson's, the Cookie Sniper thread inside of another thread. As a result of that, guys, this feudal lord, like what I did, I simultaneously created a concept, like increased my chances of, first of all, seeing the true nature of how I behave with for the feudal lord who's observing the thread. Second of all, I showed the genuine responses. Third of all, I showed a way for how to. Third of all, I made it possible for other people who are looking at the thread to recognize that those responses are genuine. So what I did is I tapped into transitive property of mathematics inside of a thread and managed to recreate that property and create the snowball effect by arguing with a person who started arguing with one of my Freedom Founders, Jackson, this Cookie Sniper, on threads. Guys, if none of that made any sense, then jump into my threads, see how I'm arguing with other people on threads, and how I'm literally using Tai Chi technique to redirect the strength of others into, like, let's say if you're a weaker person and you can't defend, right? You could redirect the strength of others in regain that energy and get that person, redirect the strength of that person who is stronger than you, or at least perceived to be stronger than you. Redirect that energy in the direction of your talent agency or your brand, or if you're a Freedom Founder, to your endeavors that you're trying to go through, whether you're serving feudal lords or anything like that. So guys, look, remember, all you got to do if you wanted to learn this, do a couple of things. Number one, oh, hello. So we got Cool Kid over here. I'm back. Thank you guys for allocating a little bit of your time. I was just discussing the ThreadStack Digital Power Bundle, and I'm about to get a cranberry muffin. I'm about to get some coffee. And guys, look, I just described bonkers strategy. It's absolutely insane strategy that allows you to trick people in a good way. So this way you make more money. This is totally legal, but but like, try to use it cautiously, okay guys? Use it. It's already part of ThreadStack. It's operationalized as one of our Freedom Fusion automations, and it's part of ThreadStack ecosystem already. This is borderline legal. If you missed this, guys, you just gotta rewatch this whole workshop. It's gonna be available for free, But if you want access to the everything that I just described over here operationalized, so this way you could just push a button on your iPhone and it just guides you through the whole process for how to execute the strategy, then it's $14.99 per month. This will give you access to multiple pills of freedom, plus Freedom Fusion automations, plus some encouragement, some accountability, some support, that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, guys, it's only a low ticket offer. It's not like Jack's Pass where I'm charging $2.95 per month. So $14.99 is pretty good. But if you want same level training, we do offer college material training as well for $1,500 per semester. So trust me, $14.99 is a good deal. Now, this strategy, guys, is borderline illegal. I'm telling you right now, borderline illegal. Because what I did is, I discovered how to tap into transitive property of mathematics on threads. Not once, but twice. Now, it's too hard for me to re-explain this again. You're just gonna have to watch this. But basically, the short version of it, what I described is few steps for how to use the concept of Tai Chi. Tai Chi, I'm sure you guys have heard of Tai Chi. When you're fighting against a person and maybe you're a weaker person, but another person who's stronger attacking you, and you could redirect their energy in the direction of your interests. And I described I was able to interconnect the concept of Tai Chi to threads, to interacting with people on threads and getting them on your side, especially if they're like attacking one of your Freedom Founders or one of your cohort members. You could totally get them on your side. And if you fail to get them on your side, you still get to win anyway. Why? Because you're going to take that energy and you're going to package it in a thread and show that in front of a feudal lord. So this way, other people who are observing the thread where you're trying to conquer the feudal lord get to see your true side, your genuine side. And of course, this is the tea. I know it's a little bit complex for you to understand, but I broke it down and explained how. And you could see how I'm arguing with people on threads and see how it's executed. Can you say it again, please? Okay, look, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly describe it again. So my Freedom Founder, Jackson, his name is Skooky Sniper. He went ahead on threads and posted a controversial thread. I didn't really know what to think. I didn't tell Jackson to do that. He just went ahead and did it. The thread was so simple. The thread was, here's my, he basically included a picture of a QR code to his wallet. And he put like a little title, send me money, I'm struggling in college. And that's it. Without any explanations. and he just posted it. And I'm like, oh man, like this is like, you know what? I don't know what can I expect? Like me as a person, I could never do that because I'll feel like sleazy in a way where like, man, I'm begging for money. I don't want to come out that way. I would never do that. But I wanted to roll with it to see where it would take us, because I understand the situation of Jackson. I understand that he's gifted. He's really smart as a Freedom Founder. Like what he's able to do as a Freedom Founder is gazillion times more than a regular person can do. Now, why is that? Because essentially he just has like different ways of working. His brain works differently. He has this incredible brain, guys. And I recognize those people. I recognize different people, non-gifted people. And what I do is I combine them together into our talent agency. But there's a guy who who started arguing on this thread. And what I did is I reposted that thread, and some guy started arguing and saying, oh, how can you be begging and all that. and I was like, I bet. But take a look. This is where it gets interesting. What I did next, guys, and this is what I actually already described. What I started doing, I started defending Jackson while still arguing with the person back. But it was strategic way of doing it. It wasn't like, guys, it was you just have to see the thread for how I was able to do that. But basically, you let the person, you start fighting with the person on thread, but you let the person win purposefully. Purposely, you let the person win. And then you take that thread and you include that thread with your genuine way for how you let the other person win. and include that in another thread where you're trying to get the customer, like a feudal lord, let's say, in this particular case, the feudal lord posted a request saying, hey, I need some AI automation systems. I went ahead and I responded, did a little bit of thread stacking, showed, included all the videos, all the content, all the media to really cook up the brain of the feudal lord. That generated like 36 views. Not a lot of views, 36 views. But then what I did is I included that QR code directly inside of that thread with the original Jackson's thread. And this was like my way of letting people be like, oh, wow, this guy just explained everything in thread and he included the QR code, but QR code is not really from Ron Wells himself, it's from another person. Like, why the hell would I be sending money to another person? Like, do you guys understand how insane, how confused the person would be, any person who would be looking at this? At the same time, the person would be not confused because everything is described structurally, yet at the same time, the person will still be confused because they're gonna see that QR code of Jackson and they're gonna be like, man, why should I be sending money to Jackson for some AI automation systems? You see, guys, here's what I learned about this whole concept of AI post-apocalyptic world that we're living in after AI. I want to say post-AI apocalyptic world. The truth is, guys, right now, your biggest commodity is your point of view. Meaning, right now, you think about it. Like, why are you watching this video? You could be asking questions on ChatGPT, but you're still watching this video, right? Why? Because you want to have that point of view. You understand. Basically what I'm doing is I'm tapping into the neuroscience, and getting you kind of understand my point of view. And this is the biggest part about, like, in a post-AI world, guys, getting people to understand your point of view. And thread stacking is that hybrid skill that you want to tap into to let people discover that view. That only is going to happen through those techniques that I described over here, where you go ahead and you start arguing with people, getting an altercation, that kind of stuff on threads, letting them win, then packaging that thread within another thread. So, guys, this is fire. Go ahead, process this. It's advanced. This is a really advanced workshop, guys. It's going to be available for anybody who is trying to get into threads. And see you, bye. Sorry, but need to go to church. Yeah, definitely go to church. Sorry I missed that comment. But guys, look, now you got the tea. Now you got to listen again. If you want to play, I've described it multiple times. This is mostly going to be for AI. This is already operationalized into a Freedom Fusion automation in thread stack that you could get access, that you could execute with one push of a button, and boom, voila. It will guide you through executing the strategy on your iPhone with AI avatar, explaining you what to do, how to do it, and you just do it. You could even invoke that with CloudBot. We show how to do that as well. And that is all part of our JaxPOS ecosystem, where we show you how to set up a CloudBot in a safe way. We'll show you how to interconnect it with Freedom Fusion System CRM. We'll show you how to set up Freedom Fusion System CRM. We'll give you multiple pills of freedom as encouragement, accountability, and support. And of course, JaxPOS is our medium ticket offer for you guys. Medium ticket offer. It's more expensive. JaxPOS is $295 per month, but a lot cheaper than $1,500 version that I'm offering in college. By the way, I am teaching that in college, guys. You could sign up if you want, but it's $1,500 for college. Like, we do have scholarships available as well. So, and $295 per month for JaxPOS, where we show you how to do all this on private settings, and $14.99 for Thread Stack, where you get limited number of Freedom Fusion automations and get a little bit of encouragement and support. But if I was you guys, and if I was completely broke, I would just start off with a free community. We do have a community. We have close to 30,000 people in that community. I'm the top creator in that community, second top, other than the main creator, who is like level 7. But but you jump into it and you're gonna learn a lot, guys. And I'll see you next time. And if you want access into that community, DM the word PAF on my Insta. And I'll see you next time. Take care. And link in the bio.